But I'm with you on that. I like on the observant part, I'm very observant. I guess I'm just one of those guys that when I'm around with a group of people and if there's not much that I can contribute, I just stay quiet and I just like stand back and see all the shit that happens in front of me, you know? And that's how I know 90% of all the stuff that I know that I can describe it here in the podcast,
Yeah.
which is wild. It's like it's incredible that I know all these fuck shits all because I was just really in the corner and paying attention and listening to all the shit that was happening in front of my eyes. I was like, I don't know. I don't know how's your scene in California, but I know in Miami it's super fake. Like you
Um,
can spot it
it's just
right
as
away.
bad. It's just as bad, if not worse,
Really?
because because this is the hub. It's like there's like different grades that I tell people about this shit because like
Mm.
you go along, you play, everyone plays a bunch of cities, everyone talks about it, and at the end of the day, what a lot of consensus that people have come to realize is like everywhere around here, it's like Denver's like the base capital of like America. Like that's
Right.
only true because they go insane at all the shows, but they go insane for every drop. So the way that I explain to people is like LA is like spoiled as fuck because places around the country, even Denver, Florida, all these places, they don't have all these people that just live here that just show up at Space Yacht that like throw shit on their USB that they made 3 days ago, or like even that day that they're going back to back with their homie and they just end up playing and it ends up being like next year's banger and like no one really hears that shit. So like LA's spoiled as fuck when it comes to music. We already know what's coming around within the next 6 or 7 months, if not year, just by going to these shows because these are all the people that put out the music. If it's not them, it's literally all different tiers too that play and that see this shit. So like, you hear a lot, but it's like you can get LA to go insane, but the thing is you have to earn it. You have to earn it because of how spoiled they are, how many tunes that they hear, how many sick DJs that come through here that play and that are really good. And like that can, actually play really dope sets. Like, dude, it is what it is. But at the same time, it's like if you can make LA go insane like the entire time, you've actually done something. And it's usually it's like a Denver reaction or better because like pits get gnarly here. Denver pits like aren't sketchy. Pits get insane if the set's insane.
Really?
Like, yeah. Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah.
like
No,
you've
they get
been you've caused a few, huh?
I've both caused a few and been in them, and they're nuts. They're dangerous. Like people swing. It's a cool time. But like it's kind of just what I've seen over different time, and like that's something that like a lot of people have been able to agree on too. Is just like LA's just like that, and they're
Mm.
hella bougie in that way. But if you come through swinging like with different ideas, different concepts, they will go insane.
That's interesting.
But the seat itself is like hella fake with a lot of people. That's also why, like, dude, even I sit in Discord with a lot of people that don't live around here because a lot of the people that do live around here are fake or like,
Mhm.
trying to use you for something,
Yeah.
some random shit. And that's most people around here. And you never really know what anyone's up to or like not what they're up to, but like what their real like intentions are. So, you kind of just have the people and the people that you trust and the ones that believed in you from the start. And like you just hold on to those people. That's also why like the 40 ounce team is so important because like Tanner and Eric have both known me for years. And like, I mean, I've known Taylor, like, but I just don't know Taylor like that well. But what's it called? I've known Tanner and Eric for years and I've talked to them for years and like they've supported me and my music and like whatever I wanted to do also. So like they're just family at that point. Like they're not even that's like I put out a tune on 40 ounce last year because they were like, you need one. You're the only one of the family that like doesn't have one. And like that just doesn't make sense. Like, all right. So I gave him a tune and it wasn't, I wish I would have given him one better, made one better, but like it is what it is. Probably VIP it and put it out for free, some
Right.
shit like that. Make it different. But it is what it is. Like their support and the gratitude and love I have for them. They're like some of the only people to play my music too ever. So it's like, I love and appreciate them like to no fucking end. They're like part of the family.
That's freaking dope. Well, I definitely sympathize you with the whole scene because I had an idea how the LA scene was, but I didn't know to what extent.
It's bad.
Well, Miami is no saint either.
I
My
didn't think so.
Oh yeah, no. I didn't say anything in the chat in the group chat because when you pull up the Forbidden Kingdom lineup, I didn't say anything because I didn't know if anybody knows a certain artist that got into that lineup, but that artist fucked me over here,
Uh,
and he used me. He used me to get to where he is right now. So if it wasn't for my help at that time that I convinced one of the promoters to take a listen to this guy, I don't think he would have come as far as where he is right now. And he's on the lineup. I didn't say anything because I didn't know if anybody knows the guy, but yeah, I saw it and I was like, my success. There you go. You're welcome, asshole.
yeah, it sucks when you see that. I've had that happen a few times. But like at the end of the day, I don't know. I looked at it as I still had something to say, so I'm gonna go do it.
Mm.
I didn't take the position to like do something else yet. Like I tried to and it couldn't do it. So it's just gonna be a lot of I kept track of who actually cared and who didn't, who wanted me to do well and who didn't. And like I still remember. It's not that I forgot. And like those are gonna be the people that like end up supporting me and playing my music anyway, are the ones that stuck around the whole time. So like I don't really care.
Yeah, at that point in my life, I'm just like, whatever, dude. Just do you. I don't talk shit about you only in my podcast if you listen to me. But it's my own therapy, so I'm allowed to say or do whatever the fuck I want to do in my show. But yeah, just do you. Congratulations, you made it. I'm happy for you. Just don't ever fuck with me ever again. Like, don't ever talk to me or don't ever ask me for anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here, there's like probably like with my hand, I can count only a few people that live here in South Florida that I consider brothers. That they're not fake and they're real.
Yeah.
Three of them are established artists.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, everyone else is, yeah, it's Discord or DMs, my show. That's how I met other people's. That's how I'm good at. Mode Step. Like, I'm very good friends with the drummer Pat. Shout out to him. I love that guy. He and I established a very good relationship. He and I. So he's just another one out there in LA that I know that I'm very good friends with.
I didn't meet really anyone on the Disciple team.
You definitely need to meet some of those guys. At least most step, because at least if you mention Wolfson, they'll know who I am. But everybody else, I guess. I mean, it's eventually it's gonna happen. Maybe in Forbidden Kingdom. Come
Yeah,
over
I'm
to
probably
Florida.
gonna-
Come over to
probably.
Florida.
I think I'm gonna end up going to FK. I don't know if I want to.
You're very indecisive about it. Like, you feel like, it's just another good festival show. Like, I can go any other time.
Yeah, pretty much.
I get
Like I don't really care to go to Florida for anything realistically. Like I'm supposed to go in March or something. I don't know if I'm playing or not yet. I need to talk to someone about that. But other than that, like I don't know. I'm very much on I don't really want to go anywhere unless I like need to or unless it's like good for my mental. And because other than that, like I kind of got work to do, and like going to those things just takes away from the time that I have to do this or to go ride. So like, I can go to Florida and it will cost me a stack to go to pay for a hotel, for food, for everything else. Like basically cost me $1,000 to go, or I can save that $1,000, or I can use even half of it to go up to Mammoth for the weekend. It'll cost me less than half, and I can go ride, dick around, be in a place where I'd rather be than at a festival with, I mean, and I say that now, who knows? I could probably end up there. There was a time where I said I wasn't going to Lost Lands and then ended up getting a flight like 3 days beforehand and took off. No one knew I was going. I do that a lot. I'll just turn around and take off places.
I mean, there's nothing wrong about that. There's nothing wrong about the fact that like it's not that you outgrew it. It's just like, you got other priorities. That's what it is.
Yeah, like it's not that I don't want to see my friends play and stuff like that, especially like Jandy, because it's his first like real festival. I want to,
right?
No, Jandy, Jordan.
Who's Jordan? Which one's Jordan? I get confused.
Jandy, Jandi, Jandy.
Oh, okay.
Level is Victor. I was with him at Lost Lands.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm there for Victor a lot. And it's not to say like I don't want to be there for my friends, but at the same time, I'm just like, it's a lot. It's a lot to go through for just another festival.
No, I feel you. I feel you that that's how I felt every time, nitty gritty and modes that ever come over to the Florida shows. Great friends of mine. I will always want to support them no matter what, especially everything they've done for me and how they've
Yeah,
treated me and how great they are to me.
yeah,
And I always want to be their fan and always want to be their supporter. And of course, they tell me to come over. I'll do my best to come over, but if I can, it's because like life got
life
me.
allows you to.
Yeah, life.
Yeah,
I got other priorities to take over. I got a fiance. I got work to do. I got other stuff to stuff that need to pay the bills. Like
no, and that makes sense. There's nothing wrong with that, and that's like what I tell a lot of people too. And it's just like when you become selfish is when it starts to work and pay off for you. And like
yeah.
I cut off. That was the thing is I cut off most. I didn't cut people off, but I just stopped talking to most people
Hmm.
around like March of last year, towards the end of February last year. It's just like I started to have a daily routine in life. And if it wasn't a part of that daily routine, then it wasn't anything I actually like cared about enough to deal with.
Right.
And like, but I was also traveling a shit ton at that point. So no one really knew where I was except like one person, like, and the people I was traveling with. There was usually like one other person that just knew where I was, and that was it. And she was the only one that knew. And then like that it made me realize like the when you have such simpler things to worry about and like such less things to worry about, and then like when the people also, I learned a very big thing where it was like the people in your life need to be stable as well.
Yeah.
Because if the people in your life aren't very stable, then you're not going to be very stable also. And so like it teaches you to be stable, and then you keep each other stable, and like that's your support system for your friends. And like so that was like the first time where I could really like do that and not have to worry about any one of my friends being like too fucked up for this, too depressed for that, like whatever it was. Like people, I had like the three people I talked to every day, not even three, and like that was it. And that's how it was for a long time. And then like so I learned a routine. I started to get my shit together, and I started to learn how to like succeed and figure stuff out again. Because I just couldn't figure it out for a while, and no one brought it out of me. So I don't know, it just wasn't there. And then finally, when I figured it out, and then came back to music, and then figured out that like this takes up most of my time. That is what it is. Like writing a song doesn't happen. I try and make it happen as fast as I can, but at the same time, like songs can take 3 hours, songs can take 50, and you never really know when you get into it how long it's going to take. You just start working. That's pretty much where it ended up being, is like I just work on music, and there's like I try in my life at least to have like at least one consistent person, at least one that I just talk to like most of the day. And like that brings peace of mind to me, just so it's just like a consistency thing. I don't know, it's really weird, but if I have that, like I can usually do whatever I need to do and get my shit done. It's like a alone but not being alone thing, I guess. Just someone to bitch at with about your problems throughout the day, basically, so it doesn't make it feel as bad. But as long as I usually have like one consistent person like that, I'm usually okay. And thankfully, the people I've had recently in my life are like stable and successful, so it just kind of reinforces that forward.
No, it's always great to have at least one or few that you can trust, that you could be yourself and you can just say whatever you need to say in front of that person and make you feel much more better about the situation. Not many
Yeah.
people have that liberty. Like if I can tell, there's like a certain artist that I met that they say like, "Yo, if it wasn't for my best friend that was traveling with me, I would have never handled this."
It be like that a lot of the time too, because it's just like they don't realize how big of an important role that they play in just being there. And that was the biggest thing that I would used to tell her, was I was just like, it's just being here is all it is. And like that's like so like being there just to deal with everything that's like so small to you or whatever it is, it makes me not feel like it's not as big of a deal that I can make this decision or figure it out. And like it's something so small like that, but it works. If you take it from someone you actually trust and like take their word for it and because they know you, like I'm also not myself around people. Like I don't know until last year I didn't open up to anybody really
Mm,
and like talk to anybody. And I still really don't. Um it's just not something I do. You know, so actually being able to do that for once actually made me figure out a lot of myself and what it takes to be me. Because even I didn't know at some points, but I figured it out through like this whole process.
yeah.
And you know, it worked. It definitely worked. It made me figure out like what makes me as a person, and because I was able to be my actual self for a change. And I don't even know what made that happen. Literally just one day it was just like that. And but it was only towards one person. And then that's pretty much it. So like, you know, I can go along without like really kind of not being that person to anyone else again because it's kind of or like open up that much to somebody ever again. Because like at the point in time right now, I have more shit to do and like that's just going to distract me or not even distract me, but I just I don't want to be like that open to anyone ever again, at least until I'm stable enough to be able to figure it out on my own and be like, okay, at least I still have this. Because it took me a while for me to remember that I still had music. So like I don't want to go through that again. I don't know. That's just like my mindset on it, at least going forward.
Right.
So like I don't want to add other people. Or it's not that sounds kind of snobbish in a way, but it's not like in a way where like, you know, I don't want new friends or something like that. It's just like my life's very like it's very simple, but it's very particular. And like if you don't know how to get a hold of me throughout the day, like then you're probably not important enough to even do that.
Right.
It's just how life's become. And like, you know, if my friends that are my friends, they know how to get a hold of me. And they know exactly where I'll be most of the day. Like it's not hard. I'm in Discord literally like 14, 16 hours out of every day unless I'm not home.
Mhm.
And if I'm not in Discord, then you know that I'm not home. I'm probably off doing something because
Right.
anytime that I'm here is open unless I'm sleeping. So like, you know, it is what it is.
I mean,
But that's just come.
I mean, and let me say, bro, like we've only met for like a few weeks, and you're pretty very open to me, man. And and the first
I'll be
day,
open to people like to figure stuff out, but
hmm
like or like not to figure stuff out, but like about like my life and certain aspects of it.
hmm
But there's a lot that I don't talk about. And like
mm,
that's just part of who I am. Like it's like you can learn whatever you want about me. I tell people all the time, like you can ask me whatever the fuck you want.
right,
I'll tell you whatever you want to know. But like as far as like it's just the stuff that actually makes me, most people aren't gonna know what to ask or how to get there. And like it takes usually me going through something or dealing with something in order to
mhm,
bring those things out. And like it just doesn't really happen. That's why like it's like there's a lot of sides to me like that just don't get seen. And it is what it is. It just means like the people that get to see it are the people that get to see it, and it's really rare. It is what it is.
I mean, I got this rare with you, man. I feel very honored, to listen to you,
Yeah.
listen to your story, and listen everything that you've got, even from the day one that you and me met over Discord. Like
Mhm.
I was just like, wow, I'm very privileged not to have met this guy. Like, wow, like I feel like I'm not the only one out there who has gone through shit as well.
Mhm.
Like, there's so many things that you and me we can relate. We can relate a
Yeah.
lot. And I'm just happy overall that I met someone, that I can relate to, and someone that could definitely express himself a lot, and it's only very private to certain people. It's not
Yeah.
that very open or not very public as like a lot of people have to be or want to be.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like that's why like I'm not a very like complicated person or hard person to figure out. That's actually something that she used to say was like it's kind of it made her mad how simple I am. And like I've gotten that from a lot of people because like when you're too simple of a person, usually like there means like something's up, but just the fact of the matter is like that's just how it be. And like and there's nothing else really kind of going on like up here. It's whatever's there is there. Like and So like I'm a hella simple person. I'm hella easy to understand. Like, you know, but as far as like really kind of like opening up to for like a lot of shit in my life, like I just don't talk about it.
Mm.
But like anything music related or anything like that, I'll always tell pretty much anybody that wants to know, or like, you know, where how I got here, like the shit that I do and like, you know, what my past was kind of like and shit like that. Like I'll tell people because it's that stuff doesn't really change. Like, you know, it's kind of just who I am today, and like the
Yeah,
experiences I went through is just that's what built me as a person. And like,
yeah,
you know, I think in very particular ways and very interesting ways, and it's not really can say it's not really like many other people, that's for fucking sure. But that's just kind of what makes me me. I don't know.
yeah.
I'm just a snowboarding kid that makes music. It hasn't changed. And, you know, it went from listening to music all the time to making music because I didn't realize when I was a kid that that was the only thing I ever fought for was realistically like as long as I had something to listen to,
Hmm.
no matter how whatever I got in trouble for or whatever was going on, music was usually the thing that fixed it or like saved me from doing something dumb. There's a logistics tune that saved my life when I was going to kill myself. That's
Oh,
one thing. Yeah, random fact, random logistics tune years ago. Yeah,
are
don't know
you
why.
are you open to talk about it, or is just like let's leave it in the past?
Yeah, here, pretty much what happened. It's not like it'll make sense, but pretty much what happened was like I fucked up my shoulder. This is when I destroyed my shoulder. This
Mm.
was in 2015. And I was riding Big Bear and I basically got like a grade 5 AC separation in my shoulder. So what that means is basically every ligament that attaches your arm to your upper body via your shoulder and all of this stuff gets severed.
Oh
Everything gets just
Jesus.
yeah, sliced. So pretty much like that happened and I was like going through some shit, but like, you know, you're on pain meds that whole time for like a month straight because that shit's fucked up.
Hmm.
So like I had surgery like a week later or something like that. And like I had, you know, after I went through surgery, I was at a point or music was very interesting because I was a popular kid at that point, but I got hurt. And as soon as I got hurt and I stopped going to shows, people stopped talking to me.
Mm.
And I was, and like people stopped hitting me up to like hang out because I wasn't going to shows anymore. I couldn't get them in anymore because I wasn't going and blah, 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 whatever. And like, you know, I started to feel like hella alone. And I was just like, why, like, what the fuck is up with this? And then like my best friend at the time, um, had a boyfriend that like didn't, it's not that he didn't like me, but it's because I was a guy that he didn't trust it. So like she didn't really talk to me either. So I was like going through a bunch of shit, dealing with that, dealing with mental issues, being in a bed for so many days, staying at
Yeah.
my house, dealing with my parents, just being drugged up all the time. Like it starts to fuck with your head. And like, so it just fucked with my mental state to a point where I was just like, nobody cares, nobody gives a shit anymore, blah, blah, blah. And like, you know, after you take so many of those pills, like, you know, you don't have to take many more before you just die. Especially because like I went from taking 1 to 2 every 4 to 6 hours because of how used to it my body got.
Hmm.
And it wasn't taking away pain anymore. So like I had to use more. It was, you know, it was fucked up. So I mean, I learned after that and after that whole instance, I was listening to music, like writing out a letter and um and just something about the song, just something about it just made me be like, nah, nah, not now. Like, and that was like 2 weeks before I started music school or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
So what really saved you? That song itself? Like that's what like made you like change your whole life away or music school?
I don't really remember much about it because I was really drugged up. But like, all
Hmm.
I really remember was writing out a letter to Kels and crying while I was doing it. And then something about the song just made me say no. I don't know. I wish I had more. I
No, no,
wish I
that's
really
fine.
wish I had more to
That's
like to
that
give me something.
no, bro. Like this is thank you for sharing the story, bro. Like you have no idea how meaningful this is, you know, to share this story. Like not many people do really talk about this. Like you know, for me, like I had my own dark depression in my life,
Yeah.
and because of it, I had to stop making music
Yeah.
because music was the cause of my depression out of it. And I was living on a at that time I was having a shitty job I lived in a shitty home
Mhm.
where rats and AC broken down all the time. Music wasn't getting me anywhere. I was very
Yeah.
depressed. A lot of things were holding me back. I couldn't contact my friend. I didn't have any friends over there. Here,
Yeah.
here, like I could trust. I
Mhm.
can hang around. Like it was very rare. I couldn't hang out. So it's like I stayed myself to be
Yeah.
the lone wolf, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I
That makes sense.
and and I had to stop making music. I had to stop making music because it was getting me to a point that it was. I felt it. I felt it that it was taking
It
me
was making
to.
you depressed.
Yeah,
It was literally making you depressed. That's how I felt making dubstep. It
and I love
wasn't doing
dubstep.
anything.
And I love
Mhm.
dubstep to death, but me making it was taking me there because it felt like I have to meet a certain expectation. And if I wasn't in those expectations, I wasn't looked out. Nobody will look at me. Nobody will give a shit about me. So I was more in the notion that, oh yeah, like I need to please others before I please
Mhm.
myself. And that's how I got it all wrong.
That's exactly what happened to me.
So
And it's because my friends were sudden death yaks, Uber, Subtronics, these guys that I was around, while they were blowing up, and I was relevant because of them. And like I was their good homie, but I was also like just as good, if not better, at DJing. I just wasn't as good at producing. But like I was in that
exactly.
circle. So I just couldn't and I couldn't do it, and it sucked. And I felt like I had to meet expectations and make dubstep because that was
Mhm.
my circle. And it is just like my friends. And like I don't know, it took me a while before I understood that I didn't have to do that. It took me until this year and figuring out myself to understand that like that's not what I'm meant to make. And I'm glad that I went through it, because making dubstep makes you learn everything
Yeah.
if you learn how to make it well.
Yeah.
Thankfully I learned how to make dubstep well, and not like rip-offs of just preset packs and shit. Like I actually learned
Exactly.
how to make stuff well. So like it translates to everything, so I can make everything. So it's like, you know what? Like might as well take a crack at everything else too, because dubstep like sadly doesn't pay. It's oversaturated. Like my friends that are good at it, at least all my homies that I have are like the really cracked ones, because
Mhm.
like they'll actually get places and they're down to help me too. Like a lot of them are, at least. Well, that's a lot of the important ones are. So like, and that's all I can really ask for.
Yeah.
Like at this point. So, but like, making dubstep made me hella depressed, and it made me hella upset because I felt like I had to fit in a box. And, you know, it it took sitting down and figuring out one day, like, what makes Ryan happy. She asked me that one day, and I was just like, I don't know. And because I said I couldn't figure it out, it was just like, well, figure it out at that point. So, and thinking about it, I took like a few months to figure out what actually made me happy. And there's very few things that do. There's still the same things essentially that do. And it hasn't changed. But like at the end of it, some of what I'm starting to realize is like a lot of the stuff that can make you happy, you're not always going to have. So as long as you can hold on to a few of the key ones that are always consistently there, then you're pretty good. And you know, the two most consistent things that have ever been in my life are snowboarding and music, and they went hand in hand
Mm.
for a long time, and now they do go directly hand in hand, especially with what I do now. So like
Yeah.
it's weird how that'll work out. I guess it's like if you think there's a way, figure out the way, and like if you fail at it, then try it again. Like
Yeah.
this is the second turnaround, and hopefully this one actually works. I mean, the music's good, or the music's better than what it was before, at least way fucking better.
I agree.
And like, the transparency's there, so maybe this will work this time around.
I agree, man. And let me tell you, it's all thanks to my fiance and my family that
Mhm.
I am where I am right now.
Yeah.
Because music. Before I met my fiance, I was very lonely for the longest time,
Yeah.
and then I managed to meet her through Batch.com.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, who would have thought? Like you. I always make fun of it. I always make fun
Mhm.
of those because they do so much of those commercials. Like Match.com or eHarmony. Find your love. So I make fun of it as like, oh, I love the farmers. You don't have to be lonely at farmersonly.com. City people just don't get it. I make fun of all that shit all the time because I always say, like, man, what happens if I get catfished? Then, it's like, it's exactly everything that I was thinking about. And well, it took like 4 tries until I found the love of my life, And then
Dude, it worked.
it worked, And then when I met her, she did something that I never would have thought that in my wildest dreams would ever happen in my life. She made me be me. As cheesy or as cliche that may sound, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a significant other or someone, it doesn't have to be a partner. It could be anyone else. It could be a friend, a family. If they accept you for who you are and how you are, be you. So she accept me for me with all the perks and all the highs and the lows from me. She knows that I'm a geek, that I'm into video games, that I'm into anime, that I'm into manga. She knows that I play Yu-Gi-Oh! I play Yu-Gi-Oh! Competitively. Like, I go to tournaments and regionals and shit. Why not?
Oh shit!
Yeah, I buy and sell cards for that. I enjoy it, bro. It's like
the nerds prevail.
Yeah, I know, nerds prevail all the way, and she accepts my music. She's not from that world, and which is rare.
Yeah,
which is very rare for somebody that's not into the industry that gets you. And she supports me 100% with it, and she gets as much as excited as I do whenever I do a song or whenever I get somebody over to the show, to the podcast. There's no doubt in my mind that I have her support right there, and she's a follower. Like, I'm talking about it because she's gonna listen to it.
Yeah.
No, she's a.
No, that's fucking sick. That's a blessing, dude. That's a straight up, like, that's a blessing. And like, it's extremely rare. I've only ever had one person that did that. Like, and like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But at that point, like, you try and take the lessons that you learned from it, I guess, and like what it took to do that. But like, I don't know. I commend her for doing that, because like no one's ever really told me or asked me to do that. Nonetheless, I don't think I could do it if they even said to do that. Like, that's just something that, like, I don't know. I commend you for doing that, and like for just being upfront about it, because like, I don't know, it takes a long time to figure me out, and there's only ever been one person that actually did.
And let me tell you, bro, it took me a while. It wasn't just like recently I figured it out. Like, no, it took me a while because before moving to Miami, living in my hometown in Puerto Rico, my last 4 years of college, I was with this toxic relationship, which at the beginning was good, but then halfway there was very toxic, in which I was just like pleasing her, and I didn't receive any of the pleasing. So I didn't know. And it was my first relationship. So basically, I didn't know how it really works. I didn't know how it, if I had to put 100 and she has to put her, like, no. It was just bad overall. And there was a lot of things that she restrained me. She hold me back for me, the person that I was. And it took me like a year or 2 or so when I moved into Miami, when I broke up with her, to really find myself and really find, like, who the fuck am I? Like, is this who I am? Like, is this what I do? Is this what I like? And then after that, it wasn't just recently, before I met my fiance, is where I decided myself, you know what? Fuck it. This is who I am. Anybody who wants to be with me, they have to accept me for who I am, and this is how I am. Fuck everyone else who tells me, like, nah, you're a grown man, you should be acting like this. That's like, who the fuck you are? Are you running my life? Are you paying my bills? No, shut the fuck up. You're not leading my happiness. I don't need anybody to tell me how I should be happy about. And it was just then, it was just like, I saw, as soon as I hit the jackpot with her, it was just like, I didn't know this is how love really is. I didn't know that this is what you're supposed to receive. Because I never felt like it. I never knew what it is. It was
it's supposed to be really easy. That's the whole purpose, is like, and people think it's supposed to be so much harder than that, but it's really
exactly
it's the easiest thing that you do, because it's just natural. And
Exactly.
like it's just it's like I tell everybody else, it's just based off communication. As long as you can
Mm,
communicate and not only that, but you have to realize how the other person communicates as well to be able to speak in a way that they'll understand what you're saying.
yeah.
But like as long as that's even, like dude, it's that's all it is. That's all it takes.
And that's
It really is.
and that's why it's a blessing in the sky with her, because like she and I have that communication. Like she on like there's nothing that we hide from each other. Like literally nothing.
Yeah.
I can tell her is like, babe, I'm in the bathroom taking a dump. She's like, okay,
Yeah.
you don't have to be that upfront, but it's like, well, just to let you know, if I'm not answering the phone, it's because
Yeah.
yeah. But we're very honest with each other. We're very front. I don't hold back, and she knows that I have a subtlety of a hurricane when it comes to being honest with someone. But it's like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I'm this rough. I wish I could be a little bit much more suffer the blow, but that's just how I am, you know. Like I'm just blunt about it because I'm tired of lying to people, or not lying to people for the wrong reasons. I'm not saying that I'm a liar. It's like I have to lie myself to
Hmm.
please others. That's what I'm
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
get to, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And I hate lying. Like I want to be as front as
You gotta
possible.
be as real and upfront with yourself
Yeah,
because if you can't do that, then you can't really do that with other people. Well, you
it's
can, but it's just you're just playing yourself at that point. And you figure
exactly.
it out.
And I
That's
and
another thing. Man.
yeah, I don't need that in my life. Like I need you that if I did something wrong, please come to me and tell me like, yo, you fucked up. It's like I didn't saw it. I didn't saw it. All right, I fucked up. I'm sorry. Just come towards it. I don't need anybody to tell me. It's like, oh yeah, you did good. You did good. But behind my back is like, nah, this guy is stupid. Like he fucked up. Like no, I don't need this shit right now, bro. I'm too old. Old to handle this high school bullshit, bro. Come on, bro. I'm a
Exactly.
fucking I'm in my 30s, bro. I don't need to handle this shit. Like just tell me up from all this stuff. And that's how I am with her, with anyone else. I'm very upfront and I give my honest feedback about it. And she accepts me, like I said, she accepts me for who I am.
Yeah, and that's literally how it should be.
How it should be. Exactly.
Like it's I'm very very happy for you that you actually found that because like
Thank you.
it's just it's a stability thing and it helps keep you under control as well. People just don't realize or assess that at the point in time.
Yeah.
And like, it is what it is. But it like those people even the thing that I did realize is if they stay, they go. You have to understand and appreciate what you learned
Hmm.
along the way because that's realistically what's actually important because if you actually were happy, there's a reason why you were happy, and it was something about yourself as well. You got to figure out what that is.
Hmm.
And like, it was me being able, the final self expression of being able to just make, I don't know, being accepted for who I was wholeheartedly was very weird because that had never happened before. But then it made me realize like that's what made me be able to make the music that I've made recently.
Hmm.
So like that part still kind of stuck. Like the here even still where is it? This I redid the mix down on it. Here, hold on. It is right here. For the song that comes out next week. I redid the mix down for it.
Is this
Um
wait, hold on. Is this the my favorite song, the stay?
yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. I redid the mix down on it because the sub didn't sound right.
Right.
So it sounds better now. But yeah, like it took writing this song too for me to realize like if you make what you want to make, like something about it. I remember making it. I remember how much fun I had making this song. I
Hmm.
remember sitting here dancing around in my chair, Robbie coming in, looking at me, people coming in, laughing at me, making fun of me because I was actually making music again and like I was happy with it. And this was like this was the first time where people actually saw it because I wrote the song during the day and not at 3 in the morning.
Right.
Um, like down bad. And like this song, I don't know. Song's definitely different. It's
This is like I love this song, and when you made it, it's like, yeah, I love it even more.
yeah.
This is another Lone Wolf Podcast exclusive. Fair use, fair use.
So many people thought it would be D&B too.
I thought it was DMB too. I was ready for it. I was like, sick.
That's a good.
Sick. I honestly thought it was gonna go, very drum and bass at the second drop because I was just like, oh shit, are we really going with it? Are you telling me we're really going for it? Then you fool me with the whole happy card. It's like, damn.
No, like I couldn't do that. Like, I don't know, something about it just said it just screamed that. And so that writing that song like really did help kind of solidify that I can make like anything, which was really cool. And like because of the mindset that I wrote it in, and like life was actually good. I could think I actually had the mindset of being able to be like, I can actually do this now.
Yeah.
And believing in myself is always the problem. I still totally don't, but like it is what it is. I just think that I'm good enough to make like a lot of the music now. Like I'm actually capable of doing it, but like I'm not some crazy cracked ass kid that's like a total nerd about it. I mean, I guess I am in a lot of ways, but not like a lot of people I know. But I make it work clearly.
No, you definitely make it work, man. Let me ask you, like, if I send you like a drum and bass song that's like very happy, very melodic, like, are you willing down to work on it?
Let me see what it is. I got it. You know how it works.
Yeah, I have to send it out. I just started not too long ago, but it's just like I got so inspired by making like a lot of Coven shit and happy Muzz music and shit like that. I was just like, oh my god, bro, like I want to do it. I want to try. So I'm just right now trying my first attempt on drum and bass, and I'll send it over.
It's hard, but yeah, no, send it over. Let me see what it is.
Have you done drum and bass before, right?
Yeah, here it is. It's actually a really good song.
It's hard to make. Would you say it is, or it is like
It's when you get the drums right, but you got to get the drums right.
Okay.
Oh no, profile. It is where it's in here. Here we go.
That's fucking dope. And that's just the intro. In that song of yours, bro, after this interview. What the fuck, bro?
Yeah, it was the first time I ever made DMB.
Dude, that is literally you felt, dude, it felt like something I would listen to Monster Catters or NCS, man.
Yeah.
Like you hit their home run with this remix, man. Like holy shit.
It did horribly.
Horribly? You say it did?
It has out of all the stuff I have, this has like the least amount of plays, I'm pretty sure. 90% sure. Yeah, this didn't pop because I didn't put this out at the right time. But like, yeah, it has the least. It's funny that this and this have the least amount. 5K, 445. And if you go back to like the originals, like there's like 15K, 44, 8, 24. That song did horribly. Yeah, the mixes are all except for the first one I ever did. Yeah, that song did awful. It is what it is though.
I don't know, babe. That song is sick.
It's so good. Yeah. I don't know. I really liked it. I really liked it and I like enjoyed making it, but like, yeah, it just did awful. Which like it is what it is.
Mhm.
Songs do that, and it doesn't matter what they are.
Were you happy when you made it?
Well, what happened was I got put in a really bad mindset and I needed something to do. Mac Dubs was actually here. This was years ago.
Mm.
And he saw like my mood totally change like while he was here. And then I was like, I need something to do. And I found these stems in my downloads folder on my Mac when I still on my laptop. And I remember the day that I downloaded them, Level was on FaceTime with me
Mm.
and we were going over a bunch of stuff. And I was like, yo, do you want to do a Matrix and Future Bound remix with me? He was like, I'm down. How long do we have? And it was the contest ended like the day before.
Oh
And I was like,
shit.
I can still get the stems though. He's like, download the stems. I was like, bro, like this is back when I was like, I'm never gonna make drum and bass. I'm never gonna make happy hardcore. Like those are, I
Mm.
wanted to stay as a fan with those, and so that's what I stuck on. And I was like, I'm never gonna make them and use them. And he was like, bro, just download them. And I was like, all right, fine. So one day I was just having a bad night and I opened them up and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take a crack at this. And John was here for like the first 20 minutes and then he left. And I was like, I'll send it to you when it's done. Sure enough, like 4 hours later, around like 2 in the morning, I sent him a text and it was just like done. And I passed out on my bed after. It's ironic that this was at the time the song I made the fastest. It took me 4 hours.
That's
Now
freaking
I've
dope.
surpassed that. But yeah, like
Yeah.
it was a fun song to make though. It was really, really fun. It helped. I wasn't so pissed off afterwards.
I fucking love drum and bass that's like that melodic, man. And especially when you got vocals like that, it's just like holy crap. I don't know what it is. It's just it makes me happy. If when I listen to it, it's just like very happy stuff that makes me, groove on. So that's why like I have to take a crack out of it once in my life, like I have to. Because like I think that's one of the reasons why my goal to one day ever to release a monster card hits on me, because it's like it's such a very hard goal to achieve, but it's like with then like I'm pretty sure you can just like present something good, and with everything else that you can make, you can show this like, see how versatile I am. Like I can just bend over and do different things. I don't have to stuck with dubs. I can make dubstep, or I can make
Yeah.
happy dubstep. I can make happy drum and bass. I can make
Well,
happy music.
that's why like you don't sign to a specific label to do stuff. That's like a big reason why nobody does it anymore. You
Mhm.
just sign the songs
Yeah.
because you don't want to be stuck under control of someone else in
Oh
that sort of
yeah.
way. It's not fun,
Oh,
and you end up doing
absolutely.
a lot of work.
I want actually want to get in touch with you with that experience on labels. Like, what's your experience with them? Because I know mine is kind of roller.
I don't even try. Don't care to. If they'll pick it up, if they want anything from me, they'll ask. But like, I don't care to try at the moment, at least. And like, I don't have. That's why when people ask me, like, is there a goal, like a label you want to put out on? I was
Mhm.
like, not really, because like, the labels don't. A label's not going to give me the satisfaction of anything.
Mm.
It just means like the song got approved by a group of people.
Mm.
Cool. There's nothing against it, but it's just like all it really means. And they put money into it to help promote your stuff, which is cool.
Right.
But like aside from that, like I don't really care to release on a label particularly. And that's also why Robbie just puts out a lot of my stuff, because like he can put it out. That's totally fine. If the songs end up doing well, if people end up playing them and something like that, then they'll find them.
Would you be recommending somebody to say like, yeah, don't focus on a label, just stick with your song, make
I
sure
was
it's
always told don't ever put out an EP unless it's on a big label, and
mm,
labels don't define what you need to do. And I don't listen to many people, but like the people that I do listen to are the ones that are usually very, very respected and rather successful. They just kind of said like make the music. Music speaks for itself. That's what they've always told me. Eventually it'll a certain spot, but like it does speak for itself when it's actually really good. It just needs to be heard at that point. And in order for it to be heard, you just got to put money into it. So like you can put everything out yourself. You just have to understand that you're going to put like, $500 behind every song between
mm,
artwork and promotion and stuff like that. But it's going to pay off eventually. So like it is what it is. Like you have to do that. And like thankfully I have people, especially now that can help with promotion on different social medias, and that can help with graphic design, or like my graphic designer that I've had for years, Mason. He's one of my really good friends. Like, spent years with this kid, and he one day we made a template for remixes and bootlegs that I do, and we've kept it ever since. So that follow me cover that's on there, that's just a template that we have, that we just change the title and the color, and that's it. And then we just go through and cycle through. So like he did 3 for me the other day, just because it's a template. All he has to do is just do that, and that's it. It takes him 2 minutes a thing, and then he bounces it out. Like I paid for it once, and then I was like, but we're gonna reuse this. He's like, yeah, dude, bet. And like I send him money every now and then for doing like the little shit like that, because it doesn't take any time, but he still got to do it. So like, help him out. But it's cool because like we work that out, and then he still does most of my artwork for me. Like he does the stuff for Dejected, like whatever I want to do, Robbie's usually behind it. So like, it's still a way that I can do whatever I want, essentially, and still be kind of supported by it. And if the songs are good, like I know enough people that hear the songs on a regular basis or while I make them or whatnot. So like if they want it, they'll ask for it. Go from there. But like label releases aren't really what you want, because you need the promotion of people actually playing the stuff if you want to get it that way.
So you will agree with me when I say, guys, don't fucking send your music to labels. Like, ignore these dumb devil submissions or emails.
Don't send it to them, because like you're gonna end up getting denied for no real apparent reason. And if there's anybody that proved that the other day, it was Nappy when he was on Twitter. And Nappy kept going off about like how Bygore denied all these different songs. There's old sudden death tunes in there. There's fucking denied Lil Uzi Vert, Lil Yachty tunes. Like they had like so many songs in there that I was just like, how did you deny all of these? These all would have blown the fuck up. Why? And that's a lot of the time that happens, because they're making room for the other shit that they already signed, and then usually like they'll forget. So like, if you want to put out on a label, like it's not like I'm saying don't do it or something. If that's like some goal you want to do or some shit like that, like, by all means, like go ahead and try and do it, but it's not the most important thing in the world.
Right.
Like, and that's why like I don't really have goals towards that. And that's what a lot of people like I talk to, they're just like, they want to release on labels that they respect, that they've always listened to and stuff like that. And I get it, but like the music's going to get heard, And like, there's some things that you do like that, will help you. Like Subsidia is great with releasing stuff in your numbers wise and stuff, as far as it getting washed in like how a lot of the songs are in there. I don't know, but they'll get plays. That much I do know. So like,
no,
it helps.
I asked this, and I talk about this, because for any listeners that's listening to, sometimes it's these up and comers, they believe that they got the music is good, and maybe there is, and then the first mistake is sending it to these demos, and I made a whole episode about it. Said like, dude, there's a reason why I don't send demos to any of these labels, because these emails that they send, 9 times out of 10, they're just spam folders. If you don't get a response from 2 weeks to a month, it's just like it's ignored. And C, they don't tell you whether they want it or not.
I mean,
D, like they do listen to your song, they say they're not in it, but it's bullshit. It is in it for them. It is. If your song is actually that par with the label, it's in it for them. But they deny it because it's what you say. They already got others planned out. And obviously they'll be like, well, I mean, I love the song, but this guy can do the same thing that you did. What's so different about you?
Yeah.
And that's what I tell people. It's like, all right, just like release it on your own self. Be independent about release on your music. Don't fucking focus about releasing music on labels, because they don't
to pay for the promotion, but that's it. Like you can promote
basically. And if you still want to do what I tell them is like, just send some of these songs to your artists, to the artists who work on the label. Like if they have those, if they listen to music and they have those emails open for promo and whatnot, send it over. And if they feel they fuck with it, it's gonna get heard. They will want to play it. Some A&R is gonna listen to it, and they're gonna ask him, where'd you get the song? It's like, oh, I got it from this. And then one thing leads to another, and it works
every time.
Every
That's how it works out. That's how it's supposed to normally work out typically. So
typically,
like
yeah.
that's why I was saying like it's just people playing it. And at that point, like there's tunes that I have that I just don't care about anymore, where I'm just like, I don't know why I cared about them so long in the first place, but you know, just put it out. Literally just put it out. Someone will eventually hear it, maybe. If not, like, well, at least you tried. But like try and do it properly and put money behind it, because that's what's needed today.
Yeah.
You don't have to sign it to a label, but you do need money behind it in order for it to kind of help you out. Saddest part. But it's okay, because things could be so much worse.
Tell me about it. Now, one thing I definitely want to ask you and talked about is the one thing that you told me on the first day that you and me met, that you said that
Yeah.
you were ready to launch your own agency
Yeah, at the time.
at that time. So like walk me through again through that process one more time, like what actually came up with the idea to say that, you know what, like I'm gonna write this agency, I'm gonna hook up all my boys, everybody's gonna get booked and all that shit. Like walk me through what was going through your head and say like, yeah, I was.
It was realizing that the people that I know, how many people I actually know,
Mhm.
how many of the next generation of dubstep and like so on and so forth that I actually get, and they actually know me. And it kind of all made sense to at the time to go ahead and do it, because like it was a way I would be able to still change music if it all worked out. It was a way that I'd still be able to like change how the kids that are getting booked, make sure the kids that deserve it are there based off of like talent, and put them in the proper positions to make them, put them on shows and things like that. Because like I am a really good A&R, a really, really good one. Um, and like, and that's not even me technically saying, that's through a lot of people that are respected A&Rs saying that. And like, I could use it in that way. Because I really do know like the next generation and like what they're all doing, and the one after that too. I know where their standpoints are. Like there was a 16-year-old in there with us earlier, that was showing us tunes. Like he's not the next generation. He's part of the one after. Can help him out now. Like that's another kid. It's just another one on the list that I'd be able to help out. And like, but by doing that, like I was giving up music, and it meant that I couldn't, if like, I mean, it didn't mean that I couldn't make music anymore, but it meant that I couldn't put it out anymore. And anything that, like, if a song got signed that had my name on it or whatever, I wouldn't be able to even get that. And it wasn't even about the money at that point. It was about just having the respect of having it be there, because I couldn't have that. That wouldn't bring me, being the agent wouldn't bring me enough satisfaction, at least now, without giving music a genuine shot. And because I know where I fucked up, and I know where I bitched out last time. And so thinking about it and going through the motions, like it took a lot of thinking, and it took a lot of, when I was traveling around last year and just going anywhere I wanted to, doing whatever the fuck I wanted to, like I started to realize like I could do this and be an agent. Like I can fuck off to whatever the fuck state, because at the end of the day, you're just booking the shows and making sure the contracts are signed.
Mhm.
You're not the one taking care of them. You're not management. You're just putting them on shows, getting them bookings, and like responding to emails. And you can do that from anywhere.
Mhm.
So like I was able to do that and snowboard, and I was like there riding around answering calls on like the chair and like dealing with different stuff. So I was still reachable, but like, I was having fun, and it made me realize I was like, I could totally do this, and this could be my life, and it wouldn't be hella hard to do. But then when it came down to it, and it was, you can't make music with your friends anymore, like, or you can, but you're not going to get the recognition for it or anything like that. So like you'll know it's your song, but like no one else really will. And like your friends will probably play your music because it's still you, but like that's all you'll get. And like for some reason it's not going to make sense to a lot of people too. um but for some reason I just couldn't let that go. I threw away a job that could do me really well, and I couldn't let it go because I wanted the recognition of knowing that I did something, which is really, really dumb as an adult. But at the same time, like, wanted to give it one more chance. Having to make that decision was really hard, because I had built everything to get the agency started and had the money for it and everything else. And I could have just hit it and started, and it would have worked. But I didn't. and instead I decided to take this route in hopes that it pays off. And like part of me thinks that it will still, like a big part of me thinks that it will, because I'm too good in a lot of ways to not have it work out. I just need to figure out how to go about it in the right way. But I also know a lot of the right people already. And like some people have changed on me recently, but most haven't. And so I know where I stand with a lot of people, and I know who's willing to help me. And the ones that are willing to help me are the good ones to have to help me out. So I'm all for it this time around. And I'll give it the genuine chance. Just there's things that there's conversations I had with people and things that I like really had to think about. And the most important question I got asked was, what will make Ryan happy? I've only ever had one person ask me that. And like, but it made me sit down and think about it and make me realize that like, although money could help, it doesn't bring me the happiness that this would. So yeah, I pissed that away and to go make music with my friends.
I
So
wouldn't.
now I make dope stuff with my friends.
I wouldn't say you pissed it off away. You just decided that you want to do something that actually fulfills you more than the other. You want to do something that actually you're much more passionate about and that you're proud of. You're happy about it. Makes you happy. And you weren't gonna let anything to stop you to for not making it. So I wouldn't say you piss it off, because argument that could be done to me as well. As like, I graduated with major of electrical engineering, and I could have, literally be working for a company, or electrical company, and I could be making $100,000 a year or something and make a good living. But I decided not to do it because that's not what brings me joy. Like, having the money doesn't make me happy. It's
Yeah.
what I want to do that makes me happy. And luckily, I'm doing what I'm doing that makes me happier on a daily basis. I'm happy
Yeah.
with the job that I have. The job fulfills me. It gives me lots of freedom to do other stuff. I don't make that much money, but it's enough for me to say, like, I'm happy with it. Like, I'm satisfied with it. It's okay.
Yeah. I mean, like, that was the other thing is like, I remember looking at that and being like, everything that job would pay me, music's going to pay me. That was like one of the last things I said before I actually made the decision to go back. And I was like, I'm going to make it happen. I don't know how, but I'm going to find a way and I'm going to make it happen
I mean,
because
you're still in that right track. I mean, shit, you're the most talented person I've met, man. It's like, only like I see you and I see another part of nitty gritty, man. Because you're definitely like, you can put any genre on you and you will just make it. And it just sounds fucking insane.
yeah, I'm cracked that way. I'm very glad that I can do that. And it took a lot of years of trying to figure out a lot of different things, but I'm glad like it worked out in the end. So that would have sucked. If all that time would have been wasted for nothing. I never actually figured it out. That would have really sucked ass.
Hey, man, in due time, everything will pay off, man. Maybe not now, maybe not tomorrow, but sooner rather than later, it will pay off. And you'll look at this as like, wow, holy shit. Like, look all the struggles I had to endure and to get to where I am right now. Look where I am. It's just one of my old business managers, they told me, it's like, enjoy the ride, enjoy the journey. It's not the destination, it's the journey.
The thing is, I've been through this before in a way, and everything's happened exactly how it happened last time. Time frame wise too, everything. It's fucking weird, but the last time I went through this, my life happened in a very similar way, and I had to do a very similar thing to get out of it. This time around, I was a lot better at making music than I was last time. So when it happened, literally almost to like the same day, in slightly different ways, but still like 98% the same way. I went back to music and I sat down and I made 3 house tunes that different. One of them actually I listened to a lot. And then after that I made I think I make songs in threes is what it is. I'm starting to realize that now I make songs in threes because I made those 3 and then I stopped for a little bit and then I made ours and then 2 other ones rather recently and then that was it. And they were dubstep. I do it in clumps of genres too. It's weird. But yeah, like I was able to capitalize on the fact that I'm actually good at making music this time around. So I made songs more, and there's songs I can actually put out and utilize for something. So like at the end of the day, this time around, I'm doing it with a different mindset and a lot better mindset. And things changed slightly before,
Hmm.
but like I see where it's going, and like I know kind of where this can go and lead. So there's no reason that it can't happen faster. I just kind of got to know how to go about it.
Well, we got like three more questions and we can wrap this up, my brother.
Yeah, yeah, what's good?
These are gonna be very good ones. So, what has been up to now your greatest accomplishment?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't really have one. My biggest accomplishments are self accomplishments of shit that I'm able to pull off. That's
That
it. Like it's not, but that's not. I don't really have one that I've like. I haven't. That's the thing is I haven't released on any crazy label. Like I released with Robbie, but like Robbie's like my homie. At the end of the day, it's not like, and it's him helping me as much as he can, which is what I appreciate the most. But like that's the it's not like, some random thing that I tried to hit up one day. Like
right.
Robbie's like, I'm down to support you. So like whatever you want to give me, like, let me know, and that type of deal. And so like but he supports me as a person in my music, and that's why I give it to him.
That's great, man.
So,
I
but
mean,
like
yeah, I mean, self accomplishments is still an accomplishment. Something that you believe that you wanted to try it out, you wanted to achieve and do it. That's still an accomplishment, regardless of how you want to see it.
yeah, I mean that's why like I don't really have like, it's like goal setting or something. I was talking about that with Cheeto the
Hmm.
other day, and like I was just like, bro, like I don't know how to even set goals necessarily. Like I don't have like this isn't like a thing that I can like I can I it's not that I can't set goals, because obviously you can, but like my goals aren't geared towards the same way that everyone else's are. Is
Hmm.
like I want to play this festival or this stage. Like I've played on the Lost Lands main stage. It doesn't get much bigger than that.
Hmm.
And like granted it's not my own set, but at the same time you still get the experience of playing to like tens of thousands of people, and you're doing it with all your homies, which makes it even better.
I agree.
Like, like going back to back with Level at the pre-party was one of the most fun times like me and him have ever had. Like it was just because like we were just able to do it and no one cared. And like, those I don't look at as accomplishments. Like those I look at as like memories, because those are with my homies. I don't really like, my friends know me like I don't know, like the people that know me, and the people that don't just don't. And like I don't know. I wish I had a better answer, because like
No, I
it's
mean,
like
there's no right or wrong answer about answering these questions, man. This is something that I always want to, preach out to everybody. It's like there's no right or wrong answers. It's just your answer, and this is how you feel.
yeah, like
I,
I mean figuring out
I will never judge you. I will never judge anybody else. Like, and I always am intrigued listening to these answers because everybody has a different answer.
yeah
Everybody, whether it's something personal that they achieve, it's like, oh, like, I married the love of my life. That's a huge achievement. Oh, I got myself my first car. That's a huge. Oh, I played my first festival. That's a fucking huge achievement. Like everybody else has a different answer. There's no right or wrong in all this. This is
yeah
just your version, and this is what you felt was like.
yeah
This and that's that. And that's
I
great.
mean it's within the past year. I mean maybe like figuring out more of who I am as a person. That's all I really got. Like because
That's
that's all that
good.
really happened. Like I went through a lot of shit. I literally I yeah I was not okay for a while. Like it is what it is. Like there's nothing I can do about it now.
And that's
Um,
good.
but like I kind of figured out a way out of it. And I mean,
Mhm.
obviously, like I'm a lot better because I can do my life came back together.
That's
Um,
good. See,
but like
I will take that as accomplishment. Take the fact that you were in a dark place and now you're in a better place than you were before. That's accomplishment. I
yeah,
will take that. Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. I don't. I never really thought about it that way. I just thought about it as just life going back to normal and like being able to just do stuff again. I don't know. It's a good. I guess it is an accomplishment because like you're not fucked up anymore.
Yeah. Kudos, bro.
Yeah, I mean, because like I just I wrote. All I did was write music. I mean, I wrote. good music. That's it. Like I finally was able to write good music. Took me forever. Jesus fuck.
You got it. You already reached it. Now everything else is just history in the making. That's how legend starts.
Yeah.
Now, so I guess like, what are you currently doing, and what do you hope to accomplish by? Is like kind of a hard question for you to answer.
Yeah, it is because like I don't know. I just want the stuff that I have to do well. That's it.
That's
As long
good.
as it does well, it's all I really care about and get recognition for it. It's very simple. Like, do I want to play a festival? Sure. Do I want to play shows? Sure. But like it's not what's really important at the time. Like that's how I'm gonna get paid ultimately.
Hmm.
But that's I don't know, it's a lot simpler than that. The songs that I actually made recently are actually good enough to mean something, and that's probably why I just want them to be heard. It's pretty straightforward, I guess.
That's good. That's good, man.
Yeah. Like they all had a purpose, I guess. Like between next week and the week after, that's Stay and Down Bad. Down Bad is the first song I made after not making music for months, like a lot of months, and not knowing what to do. And then did that song in a night. And then Stay, I wrote a few days after.
That's pretty good, man. We're gonna end this with this one last question. Let's just say that you're walking down the street. You know what? Nah, bro. I'm gonna give you a better trippy one. This is one that I usually give to everyone. I'm gonna give you a better one. Let's say that you're sliding down through the mountain on your snowboard, and then all of a sudden, a fucking jetty comes out of nowhere. And the jetty comes out to you and stops you, and you're like, yo, Ryan, I need your help. So, like, you need to come with me. You need to come with me. And then all of a sudden, you're surrounded by aliens and other weird creatures. And you're like, yo, we need your help because we need a human, and only you can help us out with this. And you're like, all right. This is like, all right, we're gonna tell you what it is, but before you do this, just let you know, we don't know how long you're gonna be out in the world. Here's a piece of paper. Write 3 pieces of advice that you will give to someone. What are those 3 pieces of advice?
Probably to believe in yourself,
Mm.
trust the process.
Oh,
Believe in yourself, trust the process. I don't know, don't give up. Those are like cores that I'm just built on. I don't know, that's like, yeah,
that's perfect. That's great.
yeah, I got nothing else.
That's
Because
fine,
like
man.
that's just like how I am, and like as long as you're just a real person and you do those things, it should be fine.
I'm with it. As classy as it may sound, those are definitely very important cores for one to follow up, and if people actually follow up this more often, people can actually reach higher than what they can expect it. Sometimes it's the basic stuff that people tend to forget. It's like, oh yeah, I shouldn't give him up. Basic stuff like that. It does help a lot. And as cliche or cheesy as it may sound, but you can talk to some of the big ones and they'll tell you the same things. It's like, dude, just don't give up. Just keep going. Like, you got this.
It's weird, but it's a lot of doing that
Yeah,
and realizing it gets better eventually.
it will get better. Sooner or later, it will get better and it will get you to the place that you want to be, man.
Yeah, at least we hope, but I think it'll work.
I agree. It'll definitely
Okay.
work. Well, dude,
Yeah,
thank you so much for coming over to the show, and thank you for having
yeah,
this amazing conversation with you, man. Like every time I talk to you, it's just like it's always an eye opener, and I learned something new from you, and I learned something new overall. It's dope. It's dope talking to you, man.
yeah. Thank you. No, I'm glad to be here.
Of course, man. Like, before we leave, plug yourself out. Let the people know where they can follow you, and what's the next songs that they expect from you.
I believe every social is just Mantik music. And I don't know. Stay comes out on my birthday next week on the 18th. Uh, yeah, January.
Yeah.
Down Bad is the 28th, and then there's Find Your Place VIP that comes out at the end of February.
Mm,
Uh, the last week in February, I think, like the last Friday in February.
yes.
And then there might be something in between that. There's probably going to be. I'll probably put out Dion's favorite tune just because it's dumb. And I'll see if someone can make me some weird ass animation for it. Um, and then I'll do Home is in March. It's a really old song that I've had for a while. Um, and then I might put out like the Party Rock thing or Spice Girls thing in between those. I don't know which one, but probably one of them. And by that time, hopefully, I have more stuff because then, yeah, the month after, I'm not totally sure about yet. There's a lot of other stuff coming up basically every 2 weeks, so I just have to keep track of it something like that.
Let me know when our collab will go out, man. 'Cause that's definitely one I want to promote the most.
I could do that April, I think.
Yeah,
April or May, something like that.
that's perfect, man.
Okay, cool.
That's
I'll
perfect.
talk to him about it.
Yeah, we'll talk later about it. Well, dude, Mantik, thank you very much for coming over to the show, man. You're a homie to the show. Anytime you want to kick it, the show is always welcome for you to come over, and we could talk more
Yeah.
about other crazy shenanigans shit that goes in the from us. Um, Guys, thank you for listening. And remember, every week is a brand new episode or a brand new topic. So always remember to like and subscribe for your weekly episodes at the Lone Wolf Podcast at youtube.com/the Lone Wolf Podcast. Also, audio versions at SoundCloud, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts. You can follow them at the Lone Wolf Podcast or Wolves and Music. Comment down below and let me hear your thoughts, share your experiences. If you guys got a specific topic that you want me to cover, you want Mantik to cover, please let us know in the comments down below, and we'll do our best to cover it on the next episode. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys at the next one. Deuces.
Later.